This stiff one is Tony Atlas talking about New Jack. Let's see. I guess there was no love lost there. I don't know the genesis of it, but let's take a look. Or
We got
listen,
a question from down in the hot land or Atlanta, Georgia, from your friend Quanny Green. He said, Tony, I've heard a lot about it on the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube. What is your problem with New Jack? And I really didn't have an answer for the guy.
He badmouthed me over the Brody incident when he was not there.
Why would he have a comment about you and the Brody incident?
Because he's an idiot.
What is his take on
it? He made fun of my Southern accent. He just made fun of me, you know. I met New Jack. I've seen him in my lifetime twice. Mm-hmm. A guy came to me and showed me an interview that he said. Now here's a man I don't even know. Never met him a day in my life. And he was talking about that I was a punk, that I tried to have sex with some man or something. And he started
you tried to have sex with some man?
Yeah, and he started talking about that I was scared and I ran and left Brody and all this and that stuff. Just a bunch of lies, a bunch of bullshit, just to get ratings.
I don't think he was even in the business in 1988.
Right, he wasn't even around, but then it got to me because I almost lost my life with that.
What do you mean now?
Well, because Savio Vega told me, said,
okay.
right. Savio, you listen to Savio Vega on Jim Cornette's show. He tell the story again. He said that Tony, if he don't shut his mouth, don't stop talking to people, the police, but we're going to stick him too. He told Savio Vega in Spanish that he want to stab me too. Savio told me don't go to my room because they have people up there waiting on me. That's why I went to the airport.
Savio was a friend of you.
Savio Vega, yeah. He was our wrestler at TNT back then.
Yep, with face paint.
Right, but he understood what we were saying in the dressing room. They were going to stab me that same night because I was the one that was talking, telling the police what really happened.
Yeah.
You know, and so this guy sticking his mouth to where it belonged. Me and Brody was good friends. Was a great guy. I was the only guy that stood up for Brody. And then when you stand up, put your life on the line for somebody, and then you have some freaking to stand out there and badmouth you over. Yes, I call him that. Because he is one. You know, he's a
Who
piece.
Are you talking about?
He's a
New
scum.
Jack?
Yeah, he's a piece of scum.
All right. Your thoughts on Tony and New Jack? You did, yeah. We talked about New Jack here a little bit. You didn't know him that well, but what about Tony?
I always liked Tony. You know, Tony was always cool with me. I never had a problem with him.
You never walked on your face.
Well, no, but it just amazes me, like, who the fuck was interviewing him?
Okay. That's Dan Marotti, who actually just died in a car accident a couple of months ago, I believe. You can get me a date on that, Steve. You know what? I kind of liked him always. You know why? He had a very distinct personality. A lot of the guys in the shoot game as hosts were very generic. They didn't kind of have a brand, so to speak. They were just, read a list of questions. They weren't conversationalists at all. And I always thought Dan Marotti was his Boston accent always made me laugh, his pronunciations. And he was.
I don't know though, when you're talking about New Jack and Tony Atlas goes on a rant and he just cuts in, he goes, New Jack?
Yeah, well, he was a little lost. That's okay.
I'm like, okay. I'm sorry that he passed. But
so I guess you were never a guest on the Boston Wrestling Show. I take that, judging from.
No, he passed on March the 11th.
Oh, was it March? Okay.
Yeah.
It felt like a few months ago. I see that we're going to edit. We're going to edit one of the terms that
interview seemed like a few months ago.
It took a few months.
Next time you bring up that guy, big hand.
I guess we're bleeping a term that came out of Tony's mouth, and that I guess that would be seen as racially insensitive, perhaps, even though Tony said it about New Jack.